We're staying on top of developing news this morning. The search continues for the suspect in Saturday's deadly mass shooting at Brown University.
Investigators have now released some new video of someone they believe is a person of interest, and they're asking for the public's help to find them. Your reporter Anna Stansfield live in our studio. So Anna, break down what's the latest here.
Tracy, Caitlin, good morning. The manhunt continues today in the search of the person responsible for killing 2 people and hurting 9 others. But investigators might be getting closer. Just last night, Providence police released these photos and videos taken of a man they believe could be linked to the shooting. All of these taken just 2 hours before that shooting happened as the man walked near campus. The FBI announcing yesterday that they are now offering a $50,000 reward to anyone that might have information about who this man is and where he could be. Channel 3 crews were at the university yesterday watching as FBI agents rummaged through the snowy streets and garbage cans in Providence near where those photos and videos were captured, hoping to find anything that may lead to this man's discovery. A very heavy police presence remains on campus right now, but police assure that there is no current threat to the public. Right now, there is no word on whether or not this man might still be in the Providence area, but police are asking everyone to keep an eye on their security cameras in case they notice anything suspicious. I'm your reporter in studio, Anna Stansfield, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Anna, thank you. We're also learning more about the 2 students who were tragically killed in that attack. Ella Cook was a sophomore from Alabama, and she was vice president of Brown's College Republicans, also very active in her church back at home. And then Mohammed Aziz Morzakov was a freshman from Uzbekistan. He was studying to become a neurosurgeon.